Hello, good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you're joining us from, and welcome to our final session in the series on the scholarships for women in STEM. My name is Jessica Spon. I'm the Senior Manager for Higher Education here at the British Council in the Americas, and today I am joined by the University of Bristol and the University of Nottingham to talk about the scholarships for women in STEM and the programmes that they have on offer and the application process and requirements. And at the end of the session, for about the last 30 to 25 minutes, we will have plenty of time to answer all of your questions about this brilliant scholarship scheme. So whilst I'm presenting, and my colleagues at the University of Bristol and Nottingham are presenting, do send in your questions and we will answer them live on the session today. So before I start, I'd really love for you to, in the chat, in the comments section, just tell us who you are, where you're coming from, and maybe what area of STEM you're hoping to study in, or maybe even you've already identified a particular programme. Do let us know in the chat. So the scholarships for women in STEM, this is a scheme that was launched last year by the British Council in collaboration with a number of UK universities. The scholarships set out to support women to study a full-time master's in a STEM field in the UK. The funding is really comprehensive, so it covers all of your expenses, so tuition fees, accommodation, living costs. If you're a mother, we can cover some of the, we give an additional stipend each month to cover the costs of having your children with you. And so, yeah, it really is a brilliant scheme. And this year in the Americas, we're really excited to be able to offer 25 full scholarships. And at the University of Bristol and the University of Nottingham, those scholarships are on offer exclusively to women from Brazil and Mexico. So just to quickly cover the eligibility requirements. To be eligible, you must be a passport holder and resident either in Brazil, Mexico or Peru. You must be able to start your studies in September or October of 2022. That's the coming academic year in the UK. You must be able to demonstrate a need for financial support. So that means that we want to see that if it weren't for this scholarship, you wouldn't be able to afford to travel to study a master's in the UK. You must have your undergraduate degree and any other requirements for the courses that you want to apply to, including your level of English. And finally, we're really looking for women who are active in their field of interest, and women who will be, great advocates, both for the university and for the scholarship for women in STEM scheme. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce you now to my colleagues from the Universities of Bristol and Nottingham. So from the University of Bristol, we're joined by Catherine, and then after Catherine presents, we'll be hearing from both Emma and Chloe from the University of Nottingham. And then, as I said, it'll be over to you to ask all of your questions, and we'll be here to make sure we answer as many as possible before the hour is up. So thanks ever so much, and I'm now happy to pass over to Catherine from the University of Bristol.
Hi there, thank you very much for joining us. So as has already been said, my name is Catherine. I'm working for the University of Bristol. So we've covered how we can cover questions. If you do have any questions that are more specific to your situation, which we may not be able to go through in the chat, then please do email us at international-partnerships@bristol.ac.uk. And to introduce our university in numbers quite quickly to give you an idea of where we're situated in the UK. We are top 10 in the UK, 62nd in the world, and 18th in Europe for employer reputation. We are joint 5th in the UK for research and have produced 13 Nobel Prize winners. We have a history of excellence here at the University of Bristol, being founded in 1876 as the University College Bristol. We were the first university in England to admit women on an equal basis to men, so progression has always been something that's very important to the university and the city as well. We're a member of the Russell Group of leading UK research universities, just as Nottingham is as well, and part of the Worldwide Universities Network with hundreds of prestigious partners across the world. We're very well connected internationally and within the country as well. So to just briefly go over our Women in STEM scholarship, as has already been said, the scholarship aims to reduce the gender gap in STEM, and we have 5 scholarships available at Bristol this year. It's a fully funded scholarship in partnership with the British Council, where all tuition fees are covered, a cost of living stipend, and there are other costs involved as well that will be covered. And this year, we're happy to be able to open it up to both Brazil and Mexico applicants. On our page, we do offer other international scholarships, which could be important for you to look out as well. So that's on our page at bristol.ac.uk/international-scholarships. So a quick view of the programmes that are eligible for the Women in STEM programme. We've got our MSc Bioinformatics programme. It's important to know that these are all 1-year programmes, and this is one that aims to develop methods and software for understanding large biological data. So if that's something you're interested in, please do have a look through on our course pages for bioinformatics. We have applied neuropsychology, which deals with the functioning of the brain with cognitive and emotional experience and behaviour. We've got public health, which goes into public health work in the UK. Epidemiology is more in depth in terms of public health, where we really look into the study of disease and health and outcomes in populations with a focus in the UK and international as well. And in the climate change science and policy masters, this has experts needed. This provides all the training that you would need to become an expert in government, business, research, or even non-governmental organisations in order to help drive sustainable transformations in changing environments. And our MSc in Environmental Policy and Management covers international and national law basics in environmental policy and how to manage projects. Just a few quotes from our previous Women in STEM scholarship winners. My scholarship has a recognition of my hard work and a unique opportunity to gain new knowledge and skills from a student in environmental policy and management. And receiving this scholarship has encouraged me to dream bigger than I ever thought I could. So the postgraduate entry requirements, so it's very important that you check each course page and country page on our website, which goes into the requirements for each course. And then that is, we've got a basic page for each country, which shows the general accepted qualifications. So to be considered, it's normally the equivalent of a 2-1 that we ask for. So for students in Brazil, this is a bacharel licenciado, I hope I'm saying that right, and I apologise, with good marks will be considered for these programmes. And in Mexico, we've got applicants who hold a licenciatura grade 8+ will be considered for the admissions to these master's degrees. I've got something that Bristol has is a Latin American representative who is based in Mexico, who is very familiar with sending off applications from all over Latin America. So if you've studied, if you have these transcripts from Brazil and Mexico and are unsure if you're eligible, I'll put up his details at the end that you can note down and you can contact him for further information. So in terms of applying for Bristol, you do need to apply for the programme before you apply for the scholarship. So step 1 is to start your application, decide which programme is most appropriate for you and your academic history. And we do try to keep it as simple as possible. On each course page, there's a button to select apply now, or we do have an online application portal as well. You need to upload those documents that you have supporting your academic history and any CVs sort of documents as well, and the referees as well. And again, you can speak to my colleague David in Mexico if you need any help clarifying your documents. And then it's to check, pay and submit. If you are successful in applying in receiving the Women in STEM scholarship, any payment will be refunded. So step 2 is to apply for the scholarship, and you can apply. You can find the application if you just search on our website, Bristol British Council Women in STEM, and it will come up with the programme page to be able to apply for it. And just worth noting that additional funds may be available to candidates who are mothers and plan to bring their children with them to Bristol. And we do have separate accommodation available for people coming in couples and families. Applicants can't have a British citizenship, and applicants must not have previously studied in the UK on a scholarship. So the deadline to apply is the 24th of March, 23:59, so just before it turns to the 25th of March, and we expect that you would receive a decision in April. Very important to note that if you are successful and would like to continue your application with Bristol and move over here, then it would be important for you to apply for accommodation as well. We do have an accommodation guarantee that's available for international students coming to the UK for the first time, so it's really important that you get that in before the deadline, which is in June. We've got a range of accommodation that I'll go into a bit later. And in July to August, this is when we start our CAS generation for your visa process, and in September you would be expected to begin your studies if you've been successful. It is important to note that the postgraduate application deadlines do depend on the course, as courses may fill up before the expected deadline. So we do have dedicated visa support available, as we know it's a very complicated process for some of us. So we do have Tier 4 visa teams that are able to give you advice as you so need. A quick word on the facilities that we have here. We have 9 libraries offering study spaces with over 2,000 computers. So if there are any issues in your personal laptops or that sort of thing, there are always spaces to use in the libraries. We have IT service desk as well, and several managed study centres all around Bristol, which are really lovely. And we've got number of discipline-specific facilities, specifically within STEM subjects as well. In the Life Sciences building, we've got a 5-storey laboratory wing and a state-of-the-art greenhouse and one of the largest teaching labs in the UK, just to name one. A quick word on the wellbeing and support that we offer at our university. We've got student wellbeing service. As we know, it's obviously difficult. It can be difficult for some students moving away from home for the first time and being in a new country. We've got residential life services, which deals with issues that might arise in your accommodation or any support that you might additionally need. A student's health service located on campus, multi-faith chaplaincy, student counselling, other types of counselling and disability services, and wellbeing advisors that are placed in your school. So on to the general student inquiry side, as I said before, we do have that visa and immigration advice which is available, various funding advice for paying fees, academic support and general questions. So we do have an academic tutor which is assigned to you at the beginning of your programme, who will be there for your personal and academic development throughout the time on your course. On to accommodation. So we have 3 residential villages. Our postgraduates tend to be located in the East Villages, which is the red accommodations that we can see marked on this map here. Where you can see the dark grey area is the campus, and the whole map is just showing the city centre, Clifton and Redland area of where Bristol and the university is located within Bristol. So as I was mentioning, that accommodation guarantee will normally apply to you as students coming from abroad for the first time. If you are eligible for the Women in STEM, you'll likely be eligible for our accommodation guarantee as long as you apply before the deadline. So it's really important to get on that. So a quick note on our warm and welcoming city of Bristol. We are considered a very cultural and creative city in the UK, a very green city as well. We've got over 400 parks and green spaces. We've been called a cool place to live, a smart place to live, and also just a kind place to live, and one of the best places to live outside of London. It's a very multicultural city as well. We have students studying across the university from over 187 countries. there's lots of things to do in Bristol. The city really sells itself when I say that it's kind and welcoming. I really do mean this, having been a student myself, and it pulled me in and I've never left. There's lots to do depending on what you're interested in. Arts and culture, nature, as I mentioned before, we're a very green city, lots of shopping and events that go on throughout the year. It's also, I wanted to highlight for those that might be interested in the climate change or environmental policy courses, that Bristol is a fantastic place to be able to study these, as we were the former European Green Capital in 2015, the first UK cycling city. Bristol City Council and indeed the university became the first universities to declare a climate emergency, and the city does aim to become carbon neutral by 2030, so we're very progressive on our climate policies. In terms of where we're located, you might be familiar with where London is, and we're just to the west of London, but we are easy to get to other UK cities if you're interested in travelling around, and we're close to some fantastic sites as well. So a note on our students. So I believe this number over 150 countries is now up to about 180, and 25% of all of our students are from outside of the UK, so that's quite a lot. When we've got over 27,000 students in undergraduate and postgraduate students. So a quick note from where all of our students are from. You can see that from Latin America last year, we had 128 students join us, so we'd love for you to consider coming over as well. And just to finish up discussing our Bristol Students' Union, so all universities across the UK tend to have a similar system, but I just wanted to highlight ours, that we have a particular international students network, which brings together students from all across the different courses and programmes to find common interests. It's great to help find a community in Bristol. We've got Just Ask, which is the academic advice service, and we've got Bristol SU Lettings for help if you're interested in finding private accommodation within Bristol. And we've got over 350 clubs, societies and volunteering projects, which range from meditation, baking, debating and hot air ballooning. In my first year, I took up pottery. We're one of the only universities in the UK to have a pottery kiln, so that was really fun. And we've got loads of student spaces on offer here as well. So unfortunately, if you can't make it over to visit us, we do offer a virtual tour online. That's just the website down there, bristol.ac.uk/virtual-tour. So if you do have any questions, I would like to direct you to the international-partnerships at bristol.ac.uk in case we can't get to your question today. And for admissions information for sending off your application and your transcripts, if you need any transcripts translated, we've got David Thomas at anglo-latino.edu.com. He also has a Bristol website as well, and you're welcome to email us, email him as well if you would like any further advice from a Spanish speaker, which might make it a bit easier to transition before. So yes, that would just be found. You can find it on Google for Anglo-Latino Education Partnership.
Okay, hi everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, whatever time it is for you, wherever you are in the world. My name is Chloe. I'm here with my colleague Emma. We're from the University of Nottingham, and we're going to talk to you a little bit about the offering that we have here in Nottingham. Could you go to the next slide, please, Emma? So there's lots of numbers on this slide. You don't have to look at them all, but this is just a little bit about our league table positions. But the one I want you to pay the most attention to is the QS World University Rankings, which is in the bottom left, which states that we are 18th in the UK and 103rd worldwide. So you know that your education at Nottingham will be absolutely world class. Could you go to the next slide, please, Emma? We are one of the top 5 universities targeted by the UK's leading graduate employers. So you can see a collection of companies there, a lot of which deal with STEM, which regularly approach us for graduates that they wish to employ. And more than 4 in 5 of our students land highly skilled jobs or go into graduate level study within 15 months of graduating, which is a very, very high proportion. Next slide, please, Emma. We are also 8th in the UK for research power, with over 2,800 dedicated researchers and 3,000 postgraduate research students. This means that the academics that will be teaching you and the environment that you are in are all involved in world-class leading research, which will just enrich your university experience and your education. Next slide, please, Emma. So the University of Nottingham is obviously based in Nottingham City. So these are just a handful of the awards that Nottingham has won. We're one of the top 10 friendliest cities in the UK, we're the top 10 best student cities, we're the top 10 best cities for work in the UK. We're 7th in the UK for being an eco-friendly city, we're the top 20 most popular cities for international visitors, and one of the top 10 cities for Black, Asian and minority ethnic inclusive jobs. And we have also been accredited with the purple flag since 2010, which I will talk about on the next slide, please, Emma. So where is Nottingham? It is a compact and vibrant city in the Midlands, which means we're right in the middle of the country. You can see it on the map there. And because we're in the middle of the country, it means we've got easy transport links to all the major cities across the UK, so cities such as Manchester, Edinburgh, London, and anywhere you may wish to travel. We have also been awarded the Purple Flag Award, as I said before, for Great Nights Out every year since 2010. So this means we've been nationally recognised as a place that is very safe and friendly to live. We are a multiple sporting city, so we have several football teams which have their base in Nottingham, as well as Trent Bridge Cricket Ground and the Nottingham Panthers ice hockey team. We're recognised as one of the top 10 UK cities for students, so we're a fantastic place to come. And we're also close to beautiful countryside, including Sherwood Forest and the Peak District, which is one of the UK's national parks. And next slide, please, Emma. So I'll pass on to Emma now, who will talk to you about what it's like to study with us.
As well as in other league tables such as the Complete University Guide. Now we have a range of excellent programmes that you are eligible to apply for this scholarship, for the British Women in STEM scholarships. So here is a list of the programmes on offer with a takeaway fact, and I would encourage you to explore each of the course programmes and content, because I'm sure there are areas of research of the school that might inspire you as well. So as you can see, our drug discovery programme is from the School of Pharmacy. That area is ranked 5th in the world in the QS World Rankings. So definitely one of the best programmes in the world to study drug discovery. For our clinical nutrition programme, focuses on public health, nutrition and diabetes. For the environmental leadership programme, you can specialise in climate, ecosystems or water, so that could be around managing rivers, conservation planning, global climate change, etc. Our Department of Architecture and Built Environment is renowned. It's actually part of our Faculty of Engineering, so there's a real focus on sustainable design and energy technologies. So these programmes always attract a good number of female students as well, and we certainly want to encourage more. And we can put you in touch with graduates from these programmes as well, including Mexican and Brazilian. So our School of Biosciences has state-of-the-art facilities for studying biotechnology, and you can choose pathways in that programme in plant biology, microbial biotechnology and animal biotechnology. And finally, our physiotherapy is a great programme, and you can choose different pathways on that programme as well, depending on your career direction. Now, again, entry requirements are on the course pages, but I have included the minimum score for each course in brackets, and I can explain what that means, what the equivalent is in Mexico and Brazil. So the equivalent score for a 2-1, for example, is an 80 or 8.0 in Mexico and 7.5 for most Brazilian programs as well in your degrees. So that would be a licenciatura. And they do have English language requirements. Again, they vary, but for all these programs, they are between 6.0 and 6.5 in IELTS. And we do accept equivalent IELTS examinations as well. So I would encourage you to look at the program, and you're more than welcome to contact me at the end to explain anything about those as well. Now, some of these subjects as well require a degree in a similar field, obviously, due to the nature that they're STEM subjects. So most of them do require a science degree focus as well. And I just want to give you a whistle-stop tour of the university itself and the campuses. So there's no better way to see our campuses than in person, but our virtual campus tour is just almost as good. So Nottingham is renowned for our beautiful award-winning campuses where all our students can live. So we guarantee accommodation for all our international students as well on our campus for the duration of their courses. And we also have overseas campuses in Malaysia and China, which is an amazing opportunity for all our students at Nottingham as well. We normally welcome around 48,000 students across all our 3 campuses, and on average around 8,000 of those are international. So there's a real international community on campus, a very friendly, tight-knit community of students. Now we normally welcome around 80 Mexican students and 30 Brazilians, and that includes our exchange students as well, because we have over 75 global teaching partnerships and exchange agreements with over 300 universities in 40 countries, and 150 countries overall are represented on our campuses as well. Now, this is an aerial view of our main campus, University Park. As you can see, it's very green, it's beautiful. It has won the Green Flag Sustainability Award for the last 17 years. Our Jubilee campus is 15 minutes walk from this campus and home to our business school, computer science, education, and engineering and other science subjects and arts are based on this campus as well. Now, this campus is only 15 minutes away from the city centre. It has lots of facilities, all the facilities you need basically, because accommodation is on here as well. So you have libraries, cafes, state-of-the-art sports facilities, a conference centre, a hotel, everything you need, and everything is close by. So it's 15 minutes from the centre. And then Sutton Bonington is home to our purpose-built vet school, and that is where you would study biosciences as well, with state-of-the-art facilities for those kind of programs as well. Sutton Bonington is around 30 minutes and very close to the airport that Chloe mentioned, and a lovely atmosphere, so definitely worth the visit as well. And in terms of accommodation, we do offer accommodation on all 3 campuses. There's lots of study space, and we will help you through that process. So we can give you options for accommodation, and this leads me on to the Students' Union, because they can also help students with looking for private accommodation options. So we do have some limited options for students with families and couples on our campus. You would need to accept your offer in order to apply for the accommodation by the deadline, which will be published on the website. But our Students' Union are great. They offer independent services. They can help you look at contracts in private accommodation, and of course our Mexican Society and Brazilian and Portuguese Society. So they are great contacts. They're really welcoming to all international students who come to Nottingham, and they are great people to talk to for advice on where to live. They may have been here already for 2 or 3 years, or be living in private accommodation themselves, so we can put you in touch with them as well. But as you can see, there's lots of subject-specific societies for students studying at all levels, faith support, and welfare and health services. So we do have lots of different teams, professional teams for counselling or student mentors. So there's always somebody on campus. We appreciate that international students, many are thousands of miles from their home. We will make you feel welcome. And with all the societies and things to do on campus, you won't be alone. And I think you'll really feel at home pretty quickly, especially with the support of the societies. And I think Chloe is going to talk about briefly the criteria on the programme that's already been mentioned and what to expect and applying. Over.
Okay, thank you, Emma. So what we're offering at the University of Nottingham is 5 full scholarships to scholars from Brazil and Mexico. So you must be from one of these countries in order to apply for the scholarship. This is a full scholarship. It's very generous, which means that it covers your tuition fee, your travel costs, your visa and health surcharge, costs of your dependents, so for example, a spouse or any children that you may have, as well as IELTS costs and a monthly stipend, which is like an allowance or salary that will give you living costs whilst you study here. So it's very, very generous and very, very competitive. One of the things that is important about applying at the University of Nottingham is that you must have an offer to study with us in order to apply for the scholarship. This is because it is done through our system, our application system. So you must be holding your offer and able to be able to apply. So please make sure that when you look at the timescales involved, you've left enough time to do this. If you go to the next slide, please, Emma. So just talking about timescales, you can see that the deadline to apply for the scholarship at the University of Nottingham is the 25th of March. So if you have not made your application to study with us already, I would recommend that you do this soon in order to leave enough time to receive your offer and then make your application for the scholarship. When you make the application for the scholarship, this is through an online form, which is on our online application system. And we're looking for a few different things for you to prove to us in order to be eligible. So you need to show that you're active in your industry with either work experience or with a proven interest in the programme that you're applying for. You also need to show that you're willing to demonstrate future contribution, for example, to the socio-economic benefits of your country, through the benefits that you achieve after graduating and returning to your home country. You also need to show that you can demonstrate a plan and passion to engage other women and girls in STEM from your home country. So please, if you do want to apply to the University of Nottingham and apply for the scholarship, please have a look at these and think about the kind of things that you might talk about. As I said, this is a very competitive scholarship, and we really, really want you to stand out so that we can select you as the person to receive the scholarship with us. And if you could go to the next slide, please, Emma. So we'd really love to hear from you if you have any questions that aren't answered in this webinar. Emma has put her details in the corner of the slide there, so please feel free to contact her or contact the university directly if you do have any questions at all, or if you would just like to get in touch and learn a bit more. And the next slide, please, Emma. So that is all from us at the University of Nottingham, and thank you very much.
Super. Thank you ever so much, Chloe, Emma, and Catherine. So we've already had some brilliant questions coming through the chat and the comments section. If you do have a question for Emma, Chloe, or Catherine, now is your chance. Do send those questions in. And right, well, I'm going to get us started with a question that I think actually probably I can take on behalf of the British Council and the scholarship in general. So Liz Gabrielle asks, for Brazilians, does the scholarship cover master's fees, housing and food, or is it just the fees? And so, Liz, the answer is that this scholarship is really comprehensive and it will cover not only your tuition fees, but your living costs as well as covering, for example, visa application fees, I think you get a reimbursement for your flights as well. So it really is a very comprehensive a scholarship. So that's that answer. Right, I'm going to move on to, we've got a couple of questions from Itzel. And these questions are for University of Nottingham. I don't know whether Chloe or Emma, you'd like to take this, but the questions are, so the first question, and then I'll follow up with the second part of the question. So Itzel asks, if I studied the Masters in Clinical Nutrition, would I be able to study a PhD afterwards, or would I need additional courses or credits? And then she goes on to ask another related question, which is that she already has a bachelor's in psychology and a master's in global health. Would she be able to apply for the MSc in clinical nutrition, or does she specifically need to have a bachelor's in nutrition? Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for the questions. Do you want me to take this question, Chloe? Perfect. I've just double checked actually on the criteria. As I mentioned before, some are very subject specific. And for the clinical nutrition programme, first of all, in terms of entry requirements, psychology is one of the programmes that they accept as your undergraduate degree. So it would be a minimum of 7.5 for Mexico and 7 for Brazil in one of the following subjects. So that includes nutrition, clinical nutrition, physiotherapy, biology, biological sciences, nursing, pharmacy, medicine, biochemistry, and finally psychology. So you would be eligible to apply. And then in terms of applying for PhD, you will certainly be in the right place. So if you develop a research idea throughout your master's degree and know an academic who could potentially supervise you. So if they, one of the academics on your master's course has an area of interest that you want to focus on in a PhD, then that's one of the first steps. And they and we can talk you through the application process for PhD as well. So we'd certainly encourage research students, yes.
Super, thank you ever so much. So another quick question, this time from Letty, and it's, I suppose it's looking a little bit outside of this scholarship scheme, but her question is, she has a bachelor's in music. Is there a scholarship for that kind of programme? Catherine, I don't know whether you could answer from Bristol, and then Emma from Nottingham.
Hi there, of course. Well, thank you for the question. So yes, we do offer a bachelor's programme in music, and we also do have a scholarship not specifically for the music, but one that you would be eligible to apply for as an international student. So that's called the Think Big Scholarship. So if you Google that on our website, then you can find the details and you can apply for that. We don't have specific music scholarships available for international students, so I'd recommend the Think Big.
And is that also for masters? Because Letty said that she has her bachelor's and is looking for maybe a master's.
Oh, sorry, I've misread that then. My apologies. Yes, there's also a Think Big postgraduate scholarship as well.
Fabulous, thank you. Emma or Chloe, don't know who would like to take that question.
I'm happy to take it as well if you like, Chloe. Just, yeah, we didn't mention other scholarships earlier, but the university do offer scholarships for postgraduate students. So we have an America's Postgraduate Excellence Award. That can vary. So it's a tuition fee discount of between £4,000 and £8,000. So depending on your GPA, we will shortlist and prioritise candidates with the highest GPA for those scholarships, but they can be for any programme. And we do have another scheme actually with the British Council as well for great scholarships for students specifically from Mexico, and students from all programmes can apply for those as well. So there are options. There are certainly options with government, local country government funding as well to combine if needs be.
Super, thank you ever so much. Right, so the next question is from Cynthia. So she says, she has a bachelor's degree in physics and mathematics. Her GPA was 7.82. Is it possible to apply? She hasn't specified whether she's coming from Brazil or from Mexico, but would that be a score that you could consider? Catherine, would you like to take this first?
Hi there, sorry about that. Yes, so I'm just having a look at the translation of qualifications that we've got, and it does look like we could consider a GPA of over 7.5. So what was the GPA?
7.82, and she's just confirmed she's from Mexico.
Okay, that's fantastic. Yeah, so I would recommend applying with that result. And I would definitely recommend getting in contact with David, who I mentioned works in for Anglo-Latino. He'll be very useful in helping prepare your application and getting any translations needed, and just checking that you are eligible to apply before going on to that programme. Super.
And Emma? Is that
yeah, a similar answer to Catherine, really. So if grades are slightly below the entry requirements, then we are always happy to approach admissions tutors, so please do get in touch with us. Sometimes we will consider, as you were mentioning, Jessica, the university perhaps. So if it is a prestigious and highly ranked university in the QS rankings, for example, that could be taken into consideration. Also, professional or work experience, that will be taken into consideration if grades are slightly below the entry requirement. So yes, we are always happy to look into that and ask admissions tutors. So please feel free to get in touch.
Super. And actually, talking about getting in touch, I think your Emma, your email address is covered by Chloe's video stream on the slide. So if you could type your email into the host chat, and then I think Jenna will be able to paste that into the Facebook comments. So I think that was Liz that asked for the email. So, but obviously for anyone else, we can paste the email address into the chat. And similarly, Catherine, if there's a email address maybe for David or yourself, then we can post that in as well. Right, so I can see we've got a number of questions about English language requirements. So I'm going to try and synthesize the different questions. So we've got a question from Liz, who's asking whether she needs an IELTS result or another result at the time of submitting her application. Tanya asks as well, so she wants to apply for the MSc in Climate Change, Science and Policy. What are the English requirements there? So I think we'll go with those ones, and then there's another question that I think we can get to afterwards. So yeah, it's I guess a review of the English language requirements and when those requirements are needed in terms of students making their applications. Catherine, do you want to go first?
Hi there. So yeah, that's a really good question. On each of our course pages, if you scroll down under the requirements to apply, it does include that information about needing the equivalent of A2-1. And it also says we have a what we call a language profile, which is needed to complete to gain entry to the course. And these are normally from A to E. I believe, and for the climate change and policy one, I believe that's a profile C that would need. We do, this is all just words to you at this point, but what this translates to in terms of those English language proficiency tests. In an IELTS one, a profile C would be 6.5 with at least a 6.5 in all skills. In a few of the other courses that we are offering for this Women in STEM, it does require slightly higher of, again, with the IELTS, using IELTS as an example, that would be 7.5 overall with at least 6.5 in all skills. We do accept a range of language proficiency tests though, but just as IELTS seems to be the most common one, it's between a 6.5 or a 7 overall for all of the courses that we need. I hope that helps.
Super. And Chloe or Emma, I don't know whether you could take that from Nottingham about the English language requirements and when they're required in terms of making an application.
Emma, did you want to talk about the English language requirements, and then I can talk about the deadlines involved?
Yeah, of course. Yes. Yeah, so we do accept, normally students can apply and receive a conditional offer while they're waiting for their IELTS results, for example. That's often the case, and we do accept equivalent IELTS scores. So I'm just giving an example for the biotechnology masters. The IELTS requirement is 6.0, so that's actually the lowest entry requirement across all the courses that are eligible for this programme. So 6.0, no less than 5.5 in any element. And the equivalent of that in a TOEFL IBT, for example, is 79, with a minimum of 17 in writing and listening, 18 in reading and 20 in speaking. So we have all the equivalents of IELTS in TOEFL IBT, in Pearson, Cambridge, etc. So students can apply with different different English qualifications as well. And we can send you links to all these in the application process.
Super. Chloe.
Yes, so as we said before, you need an offer at the university in order to apply for the Women in STEM scholarship scheme. That can be a conditional offer, as Emma was saying, so with the English outstanding. So in order to apply for the scholarship, you do not necessarily need to have your English at that point. However, we cannot give you or offer you the award without you having your English result then. So you would need to provide your IELTS or your equivalent by the beginning of June, roughly, so that we would be able to offer you the award. So just be aware of that in your timescales.
Super, thanks ever so much. I hope that answered your questions, Liz and Thanya. So another question about English, but it's slightly, it's more about kind of the scholarship, I suppose. So Liz asks, if I need English classes to enter the Masters, will these costs be covered, or do I really have to have the minimum grade? And I can answer from, in general from the scholarships. This year we're not covering costs for English language lessons or English language tests. So unfortunately, this is a cost that you would have to incur yourselves and cover yourselves. And as Chloe just explained, you would need to have your English language requirement by around June in order to turn your conditional offer into an unconditional offer. So yes, I think that, I don't know if anyone's got anything to add to that answer, or whether that covers everything for everyone. Super. So I'm just scanning through the questions. I'd seen another one that I was going to tackle, although I've lost it. So, and there aren't that many more questions, so do keep your questions coming in. I can see that we have got another similar question to Letty's question that we've already answered. But we can cover that whilst we're waiting for more questions to come through. So Fanny asks whether there are any scholarships for language programs. So she has a bachelor's in languages. So I don't know whether Catherine and Emma, you could just repeat those scholarship schemes that you have available more broadly at your universities.
Yes, so we have the Think Big postgraduate scholarship that's available. We've currently invested £2 million in it for this year, which is spread across the world. So I would definitely recommend applying for the Think Big scholarship. We do also have a number of departmental scholarships available. So it's important that you look on our website, our scholarships website, and you can search for any language-based ones that are specific to your programme, though we do have that overarching Think Big scholarship.
Super. And Emma, could you repeat the ones for Nottingham, please?
Sure. So the Masters America's Postgraduate Excellence Award is an option for all programmes at master's level. So this covers a contribution of between £4,000 and £8,000 towards the tuition fee. The deadline is actually Friday the 20th of May, so there is still time to apply for that. But again, similar to these scholarships and others, you will need an offer for your course in order to apply for that scholarship. So just bear that in mind when you're planning as well. And then the Great Scholarship, which is another scheme in partnership with the British Council, is also Friday the 20th of May, and students are welcome from all programmes, specifically from students from Mexico and Indonesia this year as well.
Super, thanks ever so much. And we're getting, I can see lots of thank yous in the chat as well. So yes, thank you very much all for your brilliant and very clear answers. So I can't see any more questions coming through the chat right now. So I'm going to go to a question that we got sent ahead of the webinar, which is, what are you looking for in a successful application? Again, Catherine, I don't know whether you'd like to take this, and then I'm not sure whether Chloe or Emma, who would like to take it from Nottingham. Thank you.
Well, just to quickly say, what we are looking for these applications is students who are very dedicated to their course, and they have displayed this in their personal statement. So when it comes to the application process, you will need to explain your motivations for studying the subject, and it's really good if you can explain how you're already committed to pushing this field forward, what you're already doing within that field that will help in your research, that will help in your to get your application noticed. So we're really looking for people who are passionate about their subjects. We're looking for people who have had excellent grades in their undergraduate degrees and have proven work experience or proven skills needed to succeed on this course.
Super, thank you. Chloe, you're going to take it for Nottingham?
Yes, I can take this one from Nottingham. So I mentioned this a little bit in our presentation about the kind of things that we wanted you to talk about, but what we're really looking for is really exceptional students who have managed to demonstrate this both in their undergraduate degree and in their personal life. So this could be in the form of actual work experience, for example, that you've undertaken, volunteer work, or even just personal interests that you may have. But we really want to see that you have a real interest and passion about what you do and what you want to study, and a real passion for studying that in the UK as well. We're going to have a lot of applications for this. Like I said before, it's very generous, it's very competitive. So if you really, really want to stand out, you have to really make your passion show.
Brilliant answer, thank you very much. I can see another really good question that's just come through from Cynthia, who asks, do you recommend to apply to more than one master's programme before applying to the scholarship? I think it's quite an interesting question, and I think we can also look at it from the perspective of, more than one master's programme at one university and across different universities that are involved in the programme. So, Catherine, would you like to take it for Bristol? What's your advice from Bristol's perspective?
So I think it would always be wise to send in multiple applications when you're looking for a postgraduate programme to different schools, and that's purely because of the entry requirements differ between universities. So just as a way to diversify your application, so you are sending off to different universities, but I would say don't apply for a course that you're not necessarily interested in, because it will show through your application, your personal statement, as Chloe was saying before about everything that's relevant to your application. It won't necessarily translate into different courses, so make sure you're applying for what you're really passionate about, but I would recommend sending multiple. In terms of sending multiple within the same university, as long as you can prove that you have the skills, the demonstrated experience necessary to gain entry to be eligible for the course, then yes, I'd recommend sending in a few.
Super. And Chloe, will you be taking this for Nottingham, or, well, either Chloe or Emma?
I can do. I mean, mostly just to reiterate what Catherine just said. Catherine, that was excellent advice, I think. I think it is wise, as Catherine said, to maybe make applications amongst different universities, but this is a very big commitment to make to study in the UK and to study a course, so I'd very much not recommend that you apply for a university that you're not interested in, that you don't want to attend, or for a course that you're not actually that interested in because you think it may be easier or because you think it might increase your chances of getting the scholarship, because that's not what it's about. And when you then make your application for the scholarship, that passion won't come through. So in the cheesiest possible way, follow your dreams. Apply for what you're interested in and what you want to do, because then you're most likely to receive the scholarship.
Brilliant advice. And we've got one other question. This probably will be our last question for today. So Itzel asks, if we are accepted onto the master's programme, but we're not awarded the STEM scholarship, is it possible to delay entering the programme and reapply for the scholarship the following year? So I can answer from a British Council perspective in terms of running the scholarship programme. So each year we fund different numbers of scholarships each year, so we cannot guarantee the particular number of scholarships that we'll be able to offer for next year. And also something that's very important is that every year that we run the scholarship, we work kind of with the UK higher education sector to find out, exactly, which universities are going to offer the scholarships in which regions, and also which programmes are going to be eligible under the scheme. So if you were to apply this year and to be accepted to the course but not the scholarship, then, I'll let Emma, Chloe and Catherine reply in terms of, postponing your entry for another year. But in terms of, waiting to apply for this exact scholarship next year, all I would say is that we cannot guarantee that the same universities and the same courses will be on offer, this time next year. But in terms of, postponing your offer for a year, Catherine, what's that kind of feasibility within Bristol?
So we do have the option to defer entry. It's an option that we can explore. However, it's not something that we can guarantee. There are a lot of factors involved in this. It obviously depends on how strong your, if you've been accepted into the course, it depends on how competitive the course has been that year, if we can guarantee a place for next year, if the course is still running next year. There are a lot of different factors that we can't necessarily guarantee that it would be able to carry over. In some of these courses, we do run them every year, so it could be possible to defer it, but it's an option we can explore with you, but it might need to relate to your specific application. So I'm sorry I can't give a firm answer on that.
Super. And from Nottingham perspective?
I can take this one if you like. So as we've said before, you need an offer in order to apply for the scholarship. So if you defer your offer, you will have that offer carry over until the next academic year. However, as Jess was saying, it is not guaranteed that we will have the same courses on offer for the scholarship, or even that we will be running the scholarship at all. So you will have to bear that in mind if you do choose to defer, but there may be other options for funding available for you that you can explore in that year whilst you defer. So definitely possible, but no guarantees.
Super. Thank you all very much. And with that, we are indeed precisely at the time. So I would just like to say thank you to everybody who has joined us on this live session. Thank you for your brilliant questions and your engagement today. We really hope that you make your applications both to the programmes and to the scholarships, and hopefully in a few months' time, you'll be receiving some positive news in regards to the scholarship. And finally as well, thank you to Chloe, Emma and Catherine. Thank you so much for your time and your brilliant answers to all the questions and presentations. And yeah, I think that's it. There are, just to let everyone know, we have had sessions with the other universities that have offered that are offering scholarships under this scheme. So that's Imperial College London, Anglia-Ruskin University and the University of Warwick. So you'll be able to find those videos on our Facebook channels for British Council Mexico, British Council Brazil. So do check out those videos as well if you're interested in applying to programmes at those universities under this scheme. And that's it. Thank you ever so much, everybody. Have a great rest of your day and a great weekend.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good day. Thanks, Jessica.